Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.
Financial Survival Network is presented to you by Regal Assets. Buy and sell physical gold and silver through your existing retirement plan, 100% tax-free with Regal Assets. If you want to include physical gold or silver in your existing IRA or old 401k, request your free investment kit, which was recently featured in the Forbes and Smart Money Wall Street Journal magazines. Call toll-free 855-678-6620, 855-678-6620, or visit regalassets.com. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I am Kerry Lutz on 1590 WPSL. So unemployment is down, and we should all be happy. And Andy Hoffman is on the line now with me to celebrate. Andy, hello.
Yes, this is a truly great day because we have the record low labor participation rate. As a result, we have another drop in the unemployment rate to 7.6%, which takes us 9% of the way toward Ben Bernanke's 6.5% target, in which he will be ending quantitative easing forever.
Yeah, this is like a Chinese riddle. How can employment be shrinking and unemployment be shrinking at the same time? You know, it doesn't sound possible, and yet here we are. We're living in the best of all possible worlds.
Well, look, we know that it's money printing, market manipulation, and propaganda. That's the only remaining tool. Still, it is comical that you don't have more people jumping on board and saying, well, you know, you thought you were cute with your giving us parameters for ending QE at 6.5%, but it's pretty clear that we can get there quite rapidly simply because of falling labor participation rate, which is of your own accounting. And at some point, people are going to call it out because there is a very good chance that we're sitting here 12 months from now with a 6.5% unemployment rate, but a dramatically worse economy. And as you say, less people working.
Less people working, more people getting disability insurance. As they're saying now, disability insurance is the new welfare.
It's the new Social Security, essentially. I mean, it's pretty much, yeah, I mean, you could put it the way you're saying it as well. I mean, basically, oh God, we watch Judge Judy every day, Diana and I. In fact, she just renewed her contract at $45 million a year. And pretty much everyone on the show is on disability, and yet none of them look like they have any disabilities. The fact is the government encourages people to go on disability because they become more dependent on the state, and also it helps them in their unemployment numbers, which are particularly important right around election time. But right now, I think the government better be pretty careful about pushing that unemployment rate too low as the economy gets worse, because it's going to be called out at some point.
Well, any thinking person, Andy, you and I, if you're listening to this show, you know that unemployment is going up. The economy is getting worse. There's no question. And, you know, back when Rudy Giuliani was mayor of New York, one of his major successes was bringing down the welfare rate. And one of the ways he did it was by getting people to sign up for disability, because that was a federal program. And like you said, that reduces the size of the workforce, because if you're disabled, you no longer can work. And it's permanent. Then you're out of the workforce. End of discussion. So
I'm just laughing because the Skype right now is speeding up your voice, and then it's slowing down your voice. So first I'm hearing a chipmunk, and then I'm hearing the opposite. But I did get the gist of what you're saying. And again, it's government accounting. I mean, you can only take fake accounting so far, such as Enron or WorldCom or any of these guys, just simply pretending that you have money when you don't, just like these banks that are writing up real estate assets for the last 5 years, even though they've been going down in value. And in the bank's case, of course, they get all that free ZERP money, so they actually have some solvency, but you know, the rest of the economy is not getting that. The government is certainly not getting any more solvent by saying that the economy is better. We know that tax receipts are down. And it's just a matter of time when the fake accounting gets called out, Enron style.
Yeah.
There's your title.
Yeah. Fake accounting, Enron style. And that's what the U.S. has adopted. And it's been that way for years, let's face it. Enron, they just, like one of my guests said, Bernie Madoff learned everything he knew from the U.S. government. And that's really what it comes down to. So we got some interesting things happening on the other side of the pond, don't we?
Yes, the Cyprus effect hasn't gone away. In fact, for what I'm reading now, it's only getting worse at Cyprus. I mean, there's a good chance that they will just leave the euro anyway. This unprecedented, the parliament votes no, and then all of a sudden they circumvent the parliament and do it anyway. I mean, the people don't want to do this, and there's a good chance that they leave. And now we're seeing more of the holes in the dike prop up. I think Slovenia is going to be the next crisis, and they're much bigger than Cyprus. And of course, now you have Portugal, whose constitutional court just said that a lot of the austerity measures that their government agreed to are not constitutional. So, their finances are getting weaker. Their bond spreads are spreading, are reaching, multi-month highs right now. And of course, you have Greece, which is my number one black swan pick for what destroys the euro. It's getting worse and worse. They just got their third bailout only a few months ago. They're arguing now about the austerity measures that are involved in it. Now you have a point where the majority of the people want out. Remember last year in that vote in May, the pro-austerity people barely won by a couple of percent, and now they clearly are in the minority. So, something's going to give in one of these places, and soon. And don't forget Italy, of course, which has no government and also has the majority of people just voted against the austerity team.
Yeah, isn't it great? You got to love it. And, we're thinking that.
Hey, and don't forget here we have our debt ceiling to address. It's only 4 weeks away.
Yeah, they'll just keep increasing it here, it appears. But, it's interesting because, any one of those things could blow up and bring down the euro like overnight, or you could have a bunch of them happen at the same time, and they could all blow up at once. And as an aside, in China, they found a whole bunch of dead black swans floating around in the water there. So the black swans are coming home to roost.
Well, I would definitely say that's a sign. And look, I mean, how far? Look, when debt starts to rise parabolically as opposed to just arithmetically or geometrically, you're near the end. You can't just have debts going up at this kind of rate and expect that everything is going to be hunky-dory, let alone when all of these nations are at their lows economically. I mean, this whole recovery thing was obviously, the annual green shoots sham over here, which was soundly broken, not just by Friday's number, but by the past 2 weeks of horrific numbers, massive misses, collapses in sentiment, manufacturing, all those numbers. We'll see another retail sale number that'll be horrible this coming week for last month's data. We were the only ones left that even pretended things were good. We are literally at the low point of this entire 5-year misery in Europe and Japan right now, and it's pretty clear that China's rolling over as well. So what's left? What's left to hype?
Yeah.
What's left to give propaganda about right now?
Yeah, which is the perfect example why you should just face your problems up front, take your medicine, because then you avoid the mother of all collapses. But we're way past that point. Ain't going to matter now. There's no force in the universe that can stop what's going to happen.
Right, but on a personal basis, you don't have the ability to kick the can for the most part. Once your credit card company says no, you're done. But in the case of nations, they have those printing presses because everyone's a fiat currency right now. So they will kick the can to the end. There's absolutely no incentive for any government to stop printing and let the pain happen now. It's not, first of all, they're all rich people that are running the governments. They want to keep their positions of power, and they will keep them as long as they can. And they will do every, money printing is just part of it. I mean, the draconian actions, look what happened in Cyprus, and we're talking about neo-Nazi parties starting to get power in some of these more vulnerable nations. I mean, you're going to see every manner of rebellion possible until finally this flawed system collapses of itself, which will happen one of these days.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually. And speaking of the bank cutting off the credit card, two interesting articles in the past few weeks came up. Number one, Obama is pushing the banks to lower lending standards for people seeking mortgages. And number two is Obama is pushing credit card companies to change their ratings to decide whether or not you get credit and how much credit you get. So that is indicative of being at the end of that credit cycle when the government forces the banks to just give people money just to keep them afloat.
Right. That's socialism. I mean, bordering on communism at some point. We were just talking also about how the new tax bill is going to limit the amount of money people can keep in IRAs. In other words, forcing them out and thus forcing them to pay taxes, which is a form of confiscation. It will actually be good for these people. I mean, it's what I've been telling them to do all along. So, but, again, the government will do whatever it takes to further its near-term needs. And if taking people's money one way or the other is the best way to kick the can down the road, they will do it.
Yeah, they've got people so down on gold and silver that people don't even understand. You really don't get what your salvation is, how you protect yourself at all. The only chance that you really have to protect yourself.
They are trying to push you into things that are dangerous for you and away from things that are safe for you. And they will continue to make things harder as we go along. Of course, you're talking about people being down on it, but not on people who are buying the real stuff. As I've been saying, we've been seeing massive, massive demand here at Miles Franklin. I mean, this is, since the two key dates that caused the big avalanche of buys were QE4, which was December 12th of last year, and the day that Cyprus thing first came out over the weekend, that Monday.
Yeah, and you said that...
Since then, massive buying. And I was talking about junk silver for all-time premiums right now. I mean, I call junk silver the ultimate fear product. And we're seeing the same level of premiums, which is, spot plus $3 plus, that we saw in 2008 at the bottom. And they call it junk silver because it typically trades around melt value. And we're seeing delays, and we're actually seeing delays, 3 weeks or so in Maples and Silver Eagles because people are fearful. And we're going to see the dislocation in the market sooner rather than later at this pace.
No doubt, no doubt. And probably a good time to buy those war nickels, too. Those war nickels were selling below spot a few months back, and they're probably getting close up to spot again. So, no doubt, you have your chance. You still have a chance. But I believe that this bottom was last Friday, I guess. And from this point on, or was it Thursday? Last week sometime. And from this point on, you're going to see the metals go up. And this is why, now more than ever, go over to Financial Survival Network, get that damn Financial Survival Toolkit. It's got everything in there that you need to get to be prepared for this thing because, it's been coming, and it's not like Andy and I, it's not like we're stopped clock right twice a day. We've called this, and for the exact reasons why as well. And that's why you need to get your act together, and whatever you can afford to buy, you need to be buying now. Right, And?
Yeah, I mean, I was just giving a presentation saying that, when I went all into precious metals, back then it was more mining stocks. Now it's all physical. But when I went into the sector in May 2002, I went all in. And when I think now of how undervalued, let's say, gold is at $1,600 compared to how undervalued it was at $250 back then or $300, it's no comparison. There's been that much money printed, and there's been that much chaos created by the poor policy actions of governments around the world. I don't think there is a better time to take advantage of what they've given you, and also I don't think there's going to be much time left to protect yourself from what's coming.
Yeah, time is definitely running out. On that note, our time has run out too. Andy, we'll talk to you next week. MilesFranklin.com. Go there, sign up for Andy's newsletter. it's really important that you pay attention now more than ever. All right, Ant, we'll see you next week.
Great. Bye-bye.
Bye. Fortuna Silver Mines is now a show sponsor. Under President and CEO Jorge Ganoza, it's quickly becoming a world-class silver producer with 2 operating mines and extensive property holdings in silver-rich Peru and Mexico that will help fuel future growth. Started in 2005, it's gone from just 5 employees to over 1,500 today, while keeping its commitment to social and environmentally responsible operations. As of the third quarter of 2012, they've hit 80% of anticipated silver production of 3.7 million ounces and 94% of expected gold production of 17,400 ounces. By mid-2013, the production rate forecast is 5 million ounces of silver and 26,000 ounces of gold. Fortuna is currently seeking accretive M&A opportunities in the Americas. Fortuna is a proven winner with rapidly rising production into the foreseeable future. Their ticker symbol is FSM on the New York Stock Exchange and FVI on the TSX. For more information, click on their logo link on financialsurvivalnetwork.com or go to fortunasilver.com. Join Fortuna Silver Mines' record of outstanding success.